Is there anyone that just based on their social media and what you know so far that you could see winning? Like,
I feel like I talk about her too much maybe, but yeah, I almost feel like guilty saying this. I don't know like why, but like I the more I see these are all universe class women.
the other contestants should be scared. What do you think of Canada's chances of the crown? So
I'm not prepared.
this is our first time doing this. We have recorded videos side by side, but normally that means we're together. You're in Halifax right now. I'm in Calgary, Alberta. So we're literally, 4,400 kilometers away from each other.
It's a distance for sure. It's a ways.
But what keeps us together is the Miss Universe spirit.
yeah, definitely.
So
keeps the bond.
Keeps the bond strong. All
Exactly.
the delegates are, sorry, I keep cutting off.
No, I got nothing to say. Go ahead.
All of the delegates for Miss Universe are arriving in Florida, and it is honestly so exciting. Like, I almost am more excited than when we went to Miss Universe in Atlanta, Georgia, because it's been so long since a pageant, well, since Miss Universe happened. So seeing all the women arrive, like we know some of them personally, for example, Australia. So seeing their journeys for like a year and a half, well, not quite, but you know what I mean? And then seeing them arrive in Florida, it's just so exciting. Like, what are you thinking from your point of view now that you're more involved in the pageant world?
Yeah, I'm excited, definitely. I mean, I'm looking forward to what's going to happen. You know, I think there's so much anticipation around this pageant just because of everything going on externally with COVID and I mean, and everything that goes with that, right? So it's yeah, I feel very invested, I guess, with the videos we've been doing and like the research. You know, I think the more time you put into something, the more you like attached to it in a sense. So yeah, I'm excited, I guess is the short answer.
Speaking of feeling invested, I already brought up Miss Australia. You and I have sent posts back and forth to each other on Instagram of Australia in the sense of, wow, like, look at this woman. She is conquering the universe already. What are your thoughts about Maria Thattil, Miss Australia?
Yeah, I mean, she's amazing. Like you said, like she's just continues to impress and like surprise me in the best way possible. Like, as I guess as everybody knows, she's like such a great speaker, and she's breathtaking with the words she says. But I feel like every time I see her, she gets more and more beautiful too, which is like she's really the complete package, and like definitely one of my favorites going into the competition, just for a lot of reasons. But I mean, like especially how nice she is, right? Like I mean, that interview you had with her on the podcast there, just the way it worked out too, right? Because like that was the only podcast that kind of like sat it on there, and like so for that to kind of like happen, I guess in a way it was sort of like serendipitous kind of but yeah, I mean, I love her. that's like, I'm sure you can tell with the way that how highly I speak of her. She's an amazing person. So
I honestly think that, like, if she gets a hold of a mic in the sense of like top 6, top 5, I don't know how they're going to do it this year. It's like, it's going to be lights out. Like, I can't even imagine. The other contestants should be scared. I'd be scared if I was competing with her. And yeah. I definitely am excited to see what she brings to the stage aspect, because as you know, like, it's a little bit more of that like stage and behind the scenes, and how your energy interacts with the crowd and judges in the prelims to be able to actually like land your spot in the top 21 now this year, and then of course to move up the ranks from there. So it'll be really interesting to see how she does in that part. And actually on that note, top 21.
Yeah. So it's a bit weird, isn't it?
It's so weird. And you know what is weird, like for those who maybe don't know, is I think there's only it's low 70s in terms of how many women are competing. So that's actually the lowest number in years. And yet that top 21 is the highest number in years in terms of the semifinals.
Yeah, they definitely had a lot of time to think about it in between pageants, right? I mean, it's been basically like a year and a half, right, since the previous edition of 2019. So I mean, they've had a lot of time to mull a lot of stuff over and kind of just figure out maybe a different way of doing things. So yeah, has there been a host confirmed, by the way?
Yes.
Is Steve Harvey back, or is
no?
Okay.
Olivia Culpo is going to be a co-host.
Okay.
which is awesome. I love Olivia.
Yeah.
And then there's three backstage hosts. Paulina Vega, who you love.
Yeah.
You saw her at the prelims and the finals, I guess,
Yeah.
Miss Universe, and you were like, oh my God.
I mean, you could definitely tell last Miss Universe, Steve Harvey seemed to be kind of like checked out in a way. Like, I just didn't, it wasn't very professional in my opinion, but I mean, who am I to say anything?
Paul is still bringing it. I know you were like happily surprised with her as a contestant. She's looking amazing.
Yeah, shout out to their national director too, wasn't it? Her that like tagged us in the Instagram story there. So that was kind of cool.
It was cool. I actually need to repost those. Yeah.
Again, I think this year is just different in like many different aspects because of everything that's going on. But it does seem like the competition is like a lot stiffer this year. Like everybody just seems to be like, I don't know. And years previous, I mean, I've only really been involved with this for a few years, but like you usually have like a pretty heavy favorite going in kind of in a way, or like you have like a pretty good idea. But I feel like this year it does seem like things are a lot more up in the air. Like there's like, I feel like there's a lot of different outcomes that can go down this year.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that we can talk about different contestants. Like I would say some of the top talked about women right now would be Philippines, Thailand, Canada, Australia, Nepal, the ones off the top of my head anyways. And like, yeah, I feel like it's not clear yet who could potentially win, but once they arrive in the next few days, literally in the next few days, that gives an idea. But then as well, when we were at Miss Universe 2019 in Atlanta, we were there at the prelims, and being physically there, I think really made an impact of us being like, South Africa's gonna win. Because a lot of the predictions, like the final predictions for Miss Universe 2019, didn't necessarily have South Africa winning. And we were like, it has to be her. Like, we just like held on to that. We're like, it has to be her. As soon as she came out in prelims in that white gown, and then seeing her throughout the final night. So I feel like we didn't almost have it super clear until like the last night either.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, these are all universe class women. So I mean, they're all amazing. You know, it's just very, very small, different kind of details and qualities and that set them apart, right? So it's hard to narrow down. And I guess it's one of those things where it's sort of like hindsight is always 2020, right? Like now looking at 2019, it was like, oh, I mean, we're not speaking like this, but it can be easy to be like, oh, Zosie was like always going to be the winner. Like, you know, I think there's a lot that can happen though. I feel like there are like 20 or even more like women that could win this thing.
That's true. Is there anyone that just based on their social media and what you know so far that you could see winning? Like, is there anyone who at this point that you could see?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I really like Australia. I feel like I talk about her too much maybe, but yeah, I almost feel like guilty saying this. I don't know like why, but like I the more I see Rabia from the Philippines, it's just like she's kind of glowing. I think like every time I see her show up on my feed on Instagram, it's like I'm like surprised in the best way possible again how she's looking. And sometimes I don't know, like I mean it would be like a lot of pressure I think for her that she's facing, but she seems to be like rising to the occasion and like really putting her best self forward, which I think is way easier said than done.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Rabia is when you hear her in interviews, she's so like authentic, off the cuff. Like
said that in when we did like Africa and Asia Pacific, she just seems like a really nice person, which is like so refreshing in a way. Because I don't know, it's like it's hard to sometimes like to come across as authentic.
Essentially, trying so hard, right? Like you want to present your best self, but in doing that, you're trying hard to present your best self.
Totally, yeah. So it's in a way, it's like hard to be genuine, kind of, in like this weird kind of, I don't know, thing, you know?
Yeah. Actually, another girl who is very strong in interview and very strong with that like authentic, off the cuff, not pageant Patty is Peru.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think her up close is one of my favorites because like it felt like a conversation, and that's hard to get, hard to find. That it didn't feel like an interview, so I really like Peru. But yeah, you're right. It's like it could be so many different women. I'm trying to think, who can I see wearing the sash, wearing the crown? And like, it is actually hard to say. South Africa as well is coming super strong.
Totally.
I knew she was going to be amazing leading up to Miss South Africa, but when she showed up at Miss South Africa on that final night, I was like, this girl could be walking on the Miss Universe stage right now. She could be in the top 5 at Miss Universe. And so then from then to now, she's going to be bringing it all. Like, I could see her right in the top as well. I think her almost like downfall is the fact that South Africa won last year.
Yeah, I was honestly about to say that. Like, at what point does it start to be like a disadvantage for South Africa with like Demi Lee and then Tamarin doing really well in 2018, and then of course Zosie winning last year? I mean, who knows? I mean, anything's possible. Like, you ultimately have to pick like the best girl to win, and whether or not she's from South Africa or Philippines, Thailand, Canada, you know, it's got to be like the best person. So
yeah, that's true. Actually, what do you think of Canada's chances of the crown?
I like her chances more and more. The more that I see her, I think like the more I like almost her aura and like her, I don't know. I mean, she just kind of has one of those, she has like the quality that like you can't really put your finger on in a way. Like, she has just like, just like an aura about her that every time I see her, I feel like I like her more and more.
The latest photos I saw of her in this yellow Michael Cinco gown, it was actually the yellow gown that Chesley wore as her farewell gown when Chesley passed the Miss USA title. Like, she looks like she's already Miss Universe, like Miss Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see them?
Yeah, I believe I saw them on. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, it's on Miss U updates, isn't it?
Yeah, like she literally looks like she's Miss Universe in that.
Yeah. Right.
I'm so excited. I'm like, please all arrive. Let's see them all together. Let's start to hear from them. Like, I think, it's going to be so exciting.
Talking about, I guess, everything, I really like Miss Jamaica too. And I feel like the more I see her, the more I like her as well. Again, her eyes are just like, I don't know, they're like crazy. Like they're a bit mesmerizing. So
yeah. And Jamaica has done well in the past. People always love, like, when Jamaica rises up in the competition, like through each round, I feel like people like always rally behind Jamaica.
I mean, I think we're both excited, and rightfully so. Like, there's a lot to look forward to, and there's a lot of like sort of uncertainty, a lot of things up in the air right now, but it's like all very exciting. And yeah, I mean, I think we're both like looking forward to it and looking forward to more women arriving. And yeah, I don't know. It's just like excitement.
It's all excitement. It's so
exciting. That's all good. Yeah. No, it's good.
I'll never forget as well, like when we got to Atlanta. And like you and I were both surprised at how excited I was to go like see the girls. Remember, you were like, "Oh my God, you're like a fangirl." So I was like, all of a sudden I had this like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to like see the girls and whatever." But then you were right in there, like,
yeah.
It's just like something so exciting. I think, like you said, when you start following these women and you do become like a fan of their story and you feel inspired by them, and then you see them show up at like the biggest pageant in the world, like they get their sash, and there's just so much excitement from a fan perspective as well.
Yeah, it's exciting times, really exciting.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thanks for the conversation. Okay, if you guys like this video and you like hearing our conversation back and forth, make sure you like and comment, let us know, and we will do more of this kind of video because it was actually kind of fun. And we will definitely see you guys next time.
Peace.